Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cryptic Crypto, the channel that offers you daily insights into the crypto market and giving you a bit of an idea of where I think we are heading, following coins like XRP, Clanker, XLM, TEL, Sol, Sui, ADA, and a number of others like XCN. Remember, this is not financial advice. This is just what I like to see and how I like to trade. So hopefully it gives you some insights, but let's look at the day. So first of all, Bitcoin and Sui are the only coins that I'm holding currently today that are actually on the up. If we actually look at the hour, again, majority of the market is down. Sol, to be fair, I'm quite bullish on at the moment, and here's the reason why. So if we break it down in terms of the Sol chart, like I said, we've got a sloping line or two sloping lines of resistance. We've got this bullish pendant going down. We've perfectly hit the support and bounced back off. So we came all the way down to around about 145 and bounced back up. Now, if this momentum continues, I believe we're going to push towards the upside. And as I mentioned on my previous videos, I'm thinking $168 is roughly my next plan to take some more profits. Obviously, we can come down, and in all honesty, if we do, I'll be DCAing in. So I'll be dollar cost averaging back into the market, especially if we come all the way down to this next line of resistance here, $136, $137. I think it's a really good entrance for a futures trade if you're doing low leverage and pushing up on the market. Now let's go and have a look at XRP. Not a lot to really report here so far. Look, like the tightening of these Bollinger Bands for me means that we're getting closer and closer and closer to either having to break up to the upside or break down to the low side. And this is where I believe will absorb more liquidity. So if we come all the way down into this box here, for me, again, a great entrance to the market. And then let's look at Bitcoin. Cool. For me, this could be incredibly bullish. We have on this bull flag here, we have tested the top line of resistance 1, 2, 3, 4. This is on the daily. 5, 6. It looks like we're about to test it again. If we break above this, it is incredibly bullish for Bitcoin, and we could be seeing all new highs. I'd be expecting us to be pushing towards a sort of 120k mark. Retail is not generally buying Bitcoin right now, but big business is. And you know, Bitcoin is almost separating itself out from the market in terms of, if you look at Bitcoin and altcoins, Bitcoin has been outperforming the majority of the market all year. And if you don't have Bitcoin, make sure you have a little bag at least. All these altcoin degens, which we'll run through, which we'll run through in terms of XCN, like big degen play for me, as well as Telcoin and CRV. You know, these are ones that you really want to get into when Bitcoin dominance starts going down. And again, you know, it's pushing back to the upside. Could we have a triple top here, or could it even go higher? We need to kind of see, like I said, you've got this sloping line that was, you know, obviously resistance. We've pushed through. You know, topped out, come back down, push through again, topped out, come back down. Are we going to push back for it again? We need to keep a close eye on this chart to see. The further Bitcoin dominance goes up, the less bullish it is for altcoins on the short term. As soon as this starts beginning to come down, as you can see in May, generally some of that liquidity will begin to move into other assets, whether that's altcoins or whether that's stocks, whatever that might be. Generally that liquidity will be going somewhere. Now looking at the XCN chart, not a lot of updates here, to be honest with you. Like I'm going to be really bullish when we begin breaking this line. We've tested it 1, 2, 3, 4 times on the daily, but let's look at CRV. Like just give you a bit of an overview. CRV. Look, we've been trading in here for a couple of weeks now, consistently trading down. I put this as a, you know, this is one of the ones where I entered along here because I could see that we were going to push. So I was actually pushing in between support and resistance. Exited the trade with a nice little profit, to be fair. Now I'm looking like, cool, where is this going? Are we going to be pushing out now? or is this part of a longer trade and we're actually trading within this channel? I don't think so. This is where I put my lines, and I believe that hopefully when we break out through here, we're going to see the upside. But if we break down, that's not bad. I generally believe, that we can get all the way down for CRV to about 34, 35 cents, and I'm still going to be bullish because, the upside potential for that is massive. And I'm a strong believer in this. Like I said, I went through CRV before. It's heavily involved in sort of liquidity programs and stable coins. Stable coins are massive, obviously, at the moment. Everyone's kind of getting involved within that. But if we go back to the Solana again, because this chart to me looks incredible. Look, you can see it on the 4-hourly. It's quite clear. We've broken the line of resistance, come all the way up, gone down, 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 hit it, wicks below, beginning to push back up. Okay, cool. Like, for some of you out there, this is probably quite boring. We're just like trading in between zones. And it's not like we're seeing huge, god candles to the upside, which I know everyone wants to see. But this is generally where you make money. Is where you're looking at, okay, cool, where's my point of entry? How am I going to make or get the best price for the coins, so that I can begin to dollar cost average on the way down, but also dollar cost average on the way up, because that's generally where you make your profits. Some people like you it's almost impossible to perfectly time the bottom and exit at the very top of the market. And when we get an alt season, and yes, I think we will get an alt season, I will be exiting my spot bag throughout, and I will probably be holding a number of futures trades for the way up, whilst also taking profits. And I think that's the thing. A lot of people here, they like hodl for years, hodl all the time. They hold on to their coins all the way up, and all the way down, and all the way up, and all the way down, hoping that at some point, if we look at Solana, it's going to go 1,000, 1,000, 2,000 dollars per coin, which would be fantastic. I will keep a small bag no matter what, for if that happens, but the chance of that happening in the short term is really, really small. And you don't want to be the one holding onto your bags at the top. You want to be creating opportunities for more dry powder to enter the markets lower. So essentially, you're going to be owning more coins for less of a price than someone that just holds throughout, and you want to beat the competition. 95% of traders do not make money, and a lot of it is around not accepting losses on trades and just continuing forwards. So one thing I think that's quite interesting, it's Connor Kenny, by the way. Follow him. Big fan. He's just been demonetized, to be fair, so go like and subscribe his videos. But BlackRock just bought 54.8's worth of ETH. And if you actually look at the new market, there's been outflows in terms of Bitcoin and inflows of Ethereum. It could be nothing, right? But it could actually be something. Let's see what Connor Kenny's had to say. Chinese firm Weber secures up to 100 million in equity funding for Ripple Strategy Holdings to boost XRP treasury strategy. Bullish for XRP, really bullish. I think there's some talk of some ETFs coming board with Solana and XRP, and to be honest with you, I think that's awesome. Looking at James Wynn, I'm pretty sure you could almost trade against this guy and you'll win. Like James Wynn just got liquidated again for $800,000. James Wynn currently has 550k worth of long positions at 40x. Do not trade at 40x would be my honest advice. Obviously, do your own research, work how you want, but I'm never trading at 40x. It's one of them where it doesn't take a lot for you to lose all your money. And when you look at these charts, if we went back to Solana, if we were at 40x when we started our trade at 143, we could. It wouldn't take a lot. We'd probably only have to come down to $136, which again is one of our lines of resistance, and we could be liquidated. We could lose all of our profits. Yeah, of course, if it goes all the way up to $200, we make huge amounts, but you're mitigating your risk against a market which is increasingly volatile, and you need to make sure that you're confident in terms of your strategy. And in my opinion, low leverage trading on the way up. And longing. I only long during bull markets, and yes, I think it's a bull market. I don't generally short unless it's impossible, although I have to admit, one trade that I'm kind of gutted that I didn't was where's it, ADA. That's going to really annoy me if I can't find it here. ADA. Because if you actually look at it, hopefully it's on this one. Nope. But like one of the, I'll probably have to bring it up on my on another one. But ADA, there was such an easy short position from that perspective, which. Well, I mean, I could set up now, but I won't. But there was such an easy short position, and it was literally following a clear line on the way up. To be fair, if I literally just, probably just show you here, like just roughly, it was literally up. I think it was there, and right. Anyway, there's a trade like this. Like this is a bearish pennant. Like as soon as it broke this, to be fair, my line was, yeah. But anyway, I haven't really done this very well, so apologies. I'm doing this really quickly. But this is a really bearish pennant, and you know that this generally, I think it's like 70-80% chance that it's going to break down, and the target for exiting on this is generally where it started. It would have been a really easy trade to have shorted when we broke this line of resistance all the way down and then long at the bottom here. Because if you look at it, we've had 1, 2, 3 touches to the downside, and even 4 back here. So it's support at the bottom here. There's been support for a long period of time, and it would have been a really easy trade, which I'm kind of gutted that I missed it. Like on one of my charts, I literally had it all there. I don't short during bull market, so I was like, look, that looks like such an easy trade, but I'll ignore it. And to be fair, I didn't set up a long when we hit support, which I'm hoping I'll have another opportunity that will come down, but that's just giving you a bit of an insight. Like we don't hit all the trades, and sometimes we do miss some, but it's just really important that we're always on the lookout. And like I said, I'm consistently looking at different markets, especially if I'm futures trading. I'm not a degen. I'm in love with one coin. I'm looking at like how can I make as much money as possible, whilst obviously mitigating my risk, and those are my goals and my aims. I don't want to be a James Wynn where I've got loads and loads of money, and I'm losing it all on a day-to-day basis. I want to increase my personal wealth. And again, going back to Connor Kenny, look, US ETFs saw 342 inflows in terms of Bitcoin. Meanwhile, Ethereum recorded 40.7 of inflows. So outflows on Bitcoin, inflows of Ethereum. Generally, if you're looking at an alt season, that is bullish. From that, we went through this article yesterday, and we went through this. Let's go on here. Look, people are still raising. Crypto startup raises 1.15 billion last month. Will crypto ICOs like BTC take off? 100%. Prediction of 235 amid ETF speculation. If we actually go on here and look at the US Securities Commission and everything like that, it looks like the SEC is going to approve its first XRP ETF. This is a new product that is set to become the largest multi-token digital asset ETF in the world. This is a major step forward and could open many doors for individuals and spot ETFs for XRP, Solana, and Cardano. I've got all of these bags. Do you know what I mean? Like, would I buy an ETF? I don't know. I like, what's the rules? Not your keys, not your crypto. I probably wouldn't buy the ETF, but, I'm sure there's a lot of retail out there and sentiment around like, cool, well, I can actually hold an ETF, and I can actually, have access, or companies obviously selling me this, where I can actually benefit from having some risk within crypto outside of Bitcoin, which is pumping, which for a lot of people is probably too expensive, to be fair, for them to be getting into. And this is on TradingView from Coinpedia. Like, it's no longer just degens on it, on X or Twitter. I hate calling it X. Kind of going on about all their different cryptos, etc. Big business is buying into crypto. And like I said yesterday, look, we were down, 4.4% on the market cap. Today we're back up to sort of 0.61%. And again, we spoke about it. Bitcoin dominant, well, altcoin season, we're still really, really low. Right, there's, you know, I'm not getting overwhelmed and incredibly like, oh my god, all my altcoins are going to pump. But what I am really excited about is the fact that Bitcoin could hopefully today, tomorrow, this week break this. And if it doesn't, it's looking likely that we may come back down in terms of Bitcoin price. And again, you know, we could come down to that sort of 92, 93,000 wick below. I'm still really bullish. I think this is a bull flag. I think we'll be going up to 120 in no time. And again, like this, these are just my opinions. You know, anything can change quite quickly. As you can see, when I started this video at the hour, like everything was down already. We've got some small, tiny little pumps that are nothing in the crypto world. But again, guys, please like and subscribe. We've only been doing sort of 5-6 videos so far. And already got over 100 subscribers. If you do like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation to do this on the daily. And if there's any advice or any content you want to see more of, or even if there's a DJ coin that you have yourself that you would like me to do some very basic TA, I try and make these charts as clean as possible and not put in all my indicators when I'm presenting them, because, you know, otherwise it becomes quite complicated to explain. But, you know, overall, still bullish. We still need volume to enter the market. Volume's still quite low. But you know, with all the news coming out and with the consistent messaging, and I'm hoping, you know, that the greed index for crypto, to be honest with you, will begin to go up, because I know if it's going up, I know there's more market interest, more market sentiment, more people are buying, and therefore price will increase. Where I actually buy is when you know, market sentiment and fear and greed index is going down. So that's a bit of an overview of this video. If you've got any questions, obviously let me know. But again, thank you very much for your time, and peace.